Yeah.
Unless we each do a book a week, in which case we would do 8.
Yeah. Like maybe, or we could do a book. We could each do a book a week, and then do one book together. So that way it's 9.
Why do you hate me? Okay.
Like I could easily just read the book we'll read together earlier, and then just be like, okay, I got my notes. It's fine. And then I'll just read my 4.
You do that. And I'll just do my best. So, as far as the checklist of things that we're looking for in a novel,
yes,
since we're trying to keep this short and on track.
Failing.
Okay.
So
Formatting,
obviously.
Structure, diction, characters,
Quotability.
quotability, that's what it was, thank you. Concept and execution, plot, style, and overall satisfaction.
You skipped one.
Did I?
Overall length.
I thought we replaced. Oh no, we didn't.
No, we replaced thought-provoking.
God,
Quotability.
damn it.
Because I convinced you that asking every novel out there to be thought-provoking was asking too much.
Quality assurance. Why the fuck didn't I write it down?
So, overall length. And like I was saying earlier, like obviously there will be areas that you grade harder than I do, and areas where I grade harder than you do. Like I'm pretty sure when it comes to diction, you might grade a little harder.
I will probably grade a little bit harder.
As opposed to formatting, I might be the one that grades harder, even on books that I've formatted.
You did do How to Cure.
Yeah. And
the only reason you gave it an 8 was because you formatted it in a way that you found very impressive. So well done, you.
No, I'm not even considering that it's me that did it. I'm canceling that out of the equation now. It's an 8, maybe a 9. Because, and I was actually told to view it this way, because if I viewed formatting how I view, like if I just said like, oh, it doesn't really do anything special with the formatting, it's just a typical book, then nothing would get a 10. So what I had to do, does the formatting distract? Like, does it pull you out of the experience, or does it keep you in the experience, or does it pull you further into the experience? I'm going to give it an 8 or a 9, and what knocks it down is those goddamn quotation marks.
The ellipses?
Fuck you. Fuck you hard.
Even
though you had to do it yourself.
If I asked.
Huh?
Said you wouldn't even if I asked.
No. But still, fuck you hard for making me do that. Because without reading and knowing the context of the ellipses, I thought you'd gone insane. I feel like we'll both be very hard-ass-y. It's not a word, but when it comes to style, because you and I are very particular in what we like.
Yes.
And I mean, it won't be like an automatic 0 if I don't like the style. Like if it if it's not my cup of tea. Like, I'm not gonna name off any indie book that I currently have, but there's some that I've read that the style wasn't for me, but I would give it a 0. I'd give it a lower score than what I'd give books that I do like the style of. So
yeah, style. What I'm gonna look for in style is just the flow and rhythm. That's what I want to see. I want to see, because this isn't just, you're not just slapping words on a page. There's a flow, there's a rhythm. It's almost musical if you do it right.
Yeah. And I mean, you could say that this is essentially a synonym for rhythm, but consistency with that flow. Like,
yes.
Does the style stay the same throughout the piece, or do you feel like there are parts where it's like, because like, you know, some novels do take years to write, and sometimes if they don't edit it or do some rewrites or revisions, you can tell like, yeah, this part was written by older EK or older JD. Like you could just pinpoint like, yeah, he wasn't as skilled here. It could just be like, it doesn't even have to be like at the end of the book. Like there could be like a thought that like they went back and, because you know there's underwriters or skeletal writers, and they went back and added something. Taking How to Cure as an example, you added stuff after I beta read it, and it's fluid. You wouldn't know if you hadn't read. Like even I, with that certain part, was like, was this in? I feel like I would know. I would have remembered this. Like,
well, as long as you could tell.
But like, and I actually had to go back to the beta copy and be like, was it in there? I'm like, no. Why wasn't it? Why wasn't that in there? But like, you know, like I was just like even it was like halfway through reading it, I'm like, I'm not remembering any of this. I feel like I would have. This is good. Like,
is it competing with the star section for your favorite part of the book?
It's a close second. I mean, it's a close second. There's no like reflection and you know me, you've read my work, I'm a sucker for reflective pieces. There's not really a reflective piece in that later bit.
No, not really.
But it really drives home a certain character's frame of mind through the eyes of the main character in a very twisted way. I'll just put it at that. But it is that. Spoiler free.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm glad you liked it, because I genuinely did worry about whether or not you would hate the book.
Yeah, no, because after chapter 30, I was just like, okay, this is pretty much becoming what I've already read. And I feel like after chapter 30, whenever she gets out of the waste, I was like, yeah. I feel like I'm like, okay, after this is over, for me it was kind of run of the mill, and it's just gonna go. My overall enjoyment's kind of gonna slant, you know, going on a downward slope. And all of a sudden, I got to that part, I'm just like,
I think that was really the most major change that I did.
I was like, I'm liking this. Like, it's gonna put a whole new context on later stuff or a later scene. So I'm like, yes, good.
Oh God, now I'm worried. Okay.
No, don't be worried. even if the rest of the book goes how it originally went, that added scene, and even the added little bit with who was formerly known as the artist and is now the brother.
We could call him by his name. His name is Seymour.
Seymour. Like, it's spelled weird.
Seymour.
Seymour. Seymour. Seymour.
Seymour.
Seymour.
His name is Seymour.
Seymour.
You're an ass.
Anyway.
Okay. We've already gone through the list. That's all the stuff that we're going to be looking for.
Yes. And of course, like, because, okay, bear in mind...
38 minutes. I don't want to have to edit this down.
Bear in mind, even though we removed thought-provoking from the list, if your book happens to be thought-provoking in any way, it will count as, like, extra credit, which could boost your score.
If it's shitty in other areas.
Yes. like for instance, there are quite a few books I've read that are not quotable at all, so you get a 0 out of 10 there. But if it's thought-provoking, which usually thought-provoking would, for me at least, be a quotable moment. So, no?
You've completely dashed somebody's hopes somewhere. As far as...
Not even sorry.
As far as thought-provoking goes, but as far as I'm concerned, even if it isn't quotable, if it at least puts a new idea into an interesting perspective, at that point I would consider giving it full marks. But if it's just repeating the same dribble as every other indie book and traditionally published book since 2010, it's going to get a 0.
On thought-provoking?
Yes.
I just think we're on the same page there.
Yes. No, if it's not a unique idea, then it isn't actually thought-provoking. It's rehashed gibberish. It's bullshit. It's annoying. It's a waste of everyone's time, including yours as the author. So, be original. Be original.
Be better versions of yourself.
Yeah, please. Plot. For God's sake, have one.
Well, I'm fucked.
False Cathedrals has a plot. It's not the ordinary progression, but it's still a plot. It's enough of a plot that it counts.
It's not grandiose like a lot of...
Mine?
Yours? Okay, there's a... Yours is grandiose, but it doesn't feel, like, overworked. Like, you're not like, okay, what the fuck's going on? As opposed, like, it's not like you just shit into a bag all of your ideas, didn't care where they landed in the book, and just smeared. Like, you actually calculated, like, okay, this is where this idea is going to take place, like the wastes and introducing the warehouses and stuff like that. This is where I'm going to introduce this piece. I'm going to bring in this part, or this character in again, who I introduced earlier, to have a moment with said character, blah, 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 blah. So I guess that would also go with execution. Your plot is well executed, as opposed to not being well executed, like a book that you recently read and I read a couple years ago.
Oh, the one that's slated for kindling.
Yes, the one that we will review when you're back in California in September.
Yes.
Yes, that book.
Yeah.
Like, that one is just too poorly executed, and also...
The concept was interesting, but
yes.
It was just god-awfully done.
But the plot was also, like, half-baked.
Yeah, no, there wasn't enough thought put into that book at all. Okay. Overall length, which kind of fits into concept, execution, and plot. The overall length. If your book needs more development, it's not long enough. And it's not bad to have a long book. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just overall length doesn't need more development. We have quotability. Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Quotability. Short, quick, to the point. Not all of the sentences have to be quotable.
No.
The quotable sentences have to be memorable.
Yes. Like yours, spoilers for your review, has at least 5 quotes.
I thought you were only at 2.
Actually, I think the last time we talked, I was at 3.
Oh.
I'm not going to find them right now. It's dark.
Okay. I'm going to have to go back through and find... Because there were some bits that stuck out to me in False Cathedrals, but off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what they were.
I'm going to say those little brief moments before each chapter starts. Don't count them.
No.
Because those... No.
No.
That's like cheating.
Yeah. Okay, characters. How are your characters? Are they well-rounded? Are they static? Are they foils? Are they all your main character and you just couldn't be creative enough to come up with a new personality at the Hobby Lobby? Like, how are your characters?
And if there's more than 3 characters, but after a while every character seems to be just those 3 characters rebranded with new names.
Are you making a dig at me?
No, not at all.
That's a yes. Okay. I've already told you about it.
I'm not, and I know I'm not one to talk because I'm pretty sure my characters read as the same people. So it's fine. I know I'm not perfect, but I expect more from you.
We can be better.
You can't do everything, but you must do more.
Where'd you find that?
I don't know.
Well, that's a good one. Okay. Diction. Was it painful?
Sorry. I'm having flashbacks to that book we were just talking about earlier. Was it painful?
Yes. Yeah. That's why it's gonna get what it's coming to it in September. Structure, which is the plot and the elements used to move the plot along.
If there is one.
Yeah. You had a plot. A small one, but it was a plot. And then the last one is formatting.
Yeah.
Like I said before, is it awful to look at? Did you intentionally do your margins so fucking close together
such a horrible way?
Increase your page count. And if you did, You're a liar and a fraud.
Are you taking a dig at certain people there?
I would never. Yes, I am.
I've known you for a while. Yes, you would.
Yes, I am.
When we're not recording, I have a list of names I think you're digging at, even if one's not intentional. He's kind of a friend of yours.
I have a pretty good idea. I know who you mean. Any questions?
No? Okay, our kids show is over now.
Comments? Concerns? No? Okay.
We were just on an episode of Blue's Clues just then, where we talk to the television or the viewer as if they can respond to us. I'm gonna let you know right now, viewer. This isn't real. This is all pre-recorded. We can't hear you. We don't care. Goodbye.